and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for what is a different kind of video, because quite honestly, I was just going to bring you today the news on Lamine Yamal, on his injury situation, on how he's doing, and just basically make a short video about that. But in the end here, I've had to come out and make something from the heart, because genuinely I am frustrated with the treatment that we are seeing of our players in the Spanish national team. I am frustrated very much so with Luis de la Fuente, and I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the full thoughts on that whole situation, which also involves UEFA and FIFA too. They're not going to escape the criticism either. So it's a bit of a rant video, and it's kind of come out of nowhere, but I think these are things that may need to be said, guys, so get ready for it. I hope you are ready, and let's do this. But I would first of all, guys, like to begin by saying a very big thank you indeed to the fantastic super thanks donations coming in on the channel. Always happy to see Jesse here with us. Hope you're doing okay right now. My friend, all the very, very best goes out to you. And Matthew, I hope the work is going well for you as well. Busy time at the moment for you. And a very, very happy birthday today to Alexander Hernandez there. Hope you're having a fantastic time, and let's get in here to this video, because, well, last night Lamine Yamal played the full 90 minutes for Spain. I mean, of course he did there, up against Denmark in the Nations League. Now, throughout that game, he was kicked, he was pushed, he was pulled, you know what's going to happen against him. All the defenders right now, they're out to get him. They can't stop him. All they can do is hack him down. So he was actually quite roughed up in the game. Spain won it in the end. Yamal played the whole game, like I say, but after it, he was limping quite badly. He left the stadium there after the game, and there was genuine concern, real concern within the Spanish camp, and of course all of us Barcelona fans, looking at Yamal limping, thinking about the fixtures that we have to come. It's our worst nightmare. We do not want anything at all to happen to him. So, of course, real panic. Now, Barca acted immediately then. This morning, they went to Spain and they said, look, we want him back now. We don't want any risk taken with him, no matter what the problem is, no matter what the situation is. We want Yamal back with us now. Now, Spain, it looks like they're going to do that. They are not really going to risk Yamal for the second Nations League game of the international break on Tuesday against Serbia. It looks right now like the problem isn't significant. It's not an injury. It may just be an overload. More tests are going to be done, of course. Barca are going to look at this situation much, much more closely when they do eventually get Yamal back. But right now, it seems as though he's going to be okay. It seems as though that panic, all of that concern, hopefully, it's not going to lead to anything significant. But I would just like to say here, we've gotten away with one. And by we, I mean Barca, but I also mean Spain as well. Because my main issue right here is Luis de la Fuente and his general demeanour and his general feeling when it comes to resting players, when it comes to player welfare, and particularly when it comes to Barcelona players. Because do you remember, guys, when Gavi got injured? Before Gavi got injured, his famous quote was, good players never rest. Good players, they're top players, they never ever need to have a rest, and I won't rest them. Those were his famous words before Gavi got ruled out for an entire year of football. And even after Gavi got injured, he failed to take any sort of responsibility whatsoever for that problem. So already the concern is there. The jury is out on Luis de la Fuente. But it was actually before last night's game. This was the quote that really did anger me to my core, because he was asked there about the possibility of resting Yamal either in the game that just went against Denmark or in that game against Serbia. Is there a chance that you could rotate him a little bit here in the international break? He responded to that by saying, because he assumed there the journalist was asking on behalf of Barca, he said, you have Lamine for 70 games. I have him once a month. He said, I don't think the responsibility of whether to rest him or not is with the national team, but rather with those where he spends the most time. And that is absolutely ridiculous there, to say that. To say, look, me here as the national team coach, I'm washing my hands of any responsibility of player welfare, of resting players. It's not just on one. It's not just on the club here. It is not just on Barca to take care of players. It's on everybody. And let's cherry pick then. You're saying, Luis de la Fuente, that Barca have him for 70 games, the national team only has him for once a month. Well, let's just look at that monthly period. We have 6 games, roughly, in a month at Barca. He then goes away with the national team. He could play at least twice. Now, that's a third of his time a month spend with the national team, spend under the care there of you at the Spanish national team, and yet you don't think you have any responsibility at all. And what about the summer then? If we're going to be cherry picking, there's no games, there's no club time in the summer there. Yamal's playing no games at Barca, but he's going to go with the national team and think of the international tournaments, think about all the games that rack up over the course of a summer. We can't cherry pick here. We can't pretend like, oh, the national team is this sacred place where they can do whatever they want, because let's not also forget who pays the players, who are actually responsible here for filling these national teams with world-class quality, because they came through the academy that we fund, that they develop, and they're given the care, they're given the nutrition and the training and all the preparation and the match days. That's all with the club, which we pay for. That's why it's everybody's responsibility. Quite frankly, it is a luxury, it is a privilege that we give the national teams, our players, to use, to enjoy. That is not something that they should be taking lightly here. And I would also say as well, you just cannot compare the Nations League, for example, with La Liga, with the Champions League, with important matches at club level, which are absolutely massive, high-pressure games all the time. You can't compare that. Let's just make that clear here, because obviously I understand big international tournaments, I understand qualifiers, but to actually come out and say here, I don't need to rest players in the Nations League because that's on the clubs, that is absolute nonsense. And I've said it before, with players like Yamal here, you've got a 17-year-old, everybody needs to look after him. And I'm looking at Barca too, by the way, but we have been resting Yamal. We rested him against Osasuna from the start of the game. We went on to lose that game because we were putting his welfare first. We didn't think about ourselves. We had to rotate him. We had to take him out of the lineup. We lost that game. We took him off against Young Boys. We took him off against Alaves. And yet, like I say, we're the ones that pay him. We are the ones that actually badly need him here. We've got less players to actually choose from here at the clubs. They can go out and they can get anybody that's Spanish. We have got a small squad of players, and yet it's on us, only us, to rotate. And like I say, guys, it's not just about here, Luis de la Fuente. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the words that he comes out with about rotation. But of course, this is a wider issue with the footballing calendar. We're hearing so much about it here from players, from coaches as well. UEFA and FIFA, they are killing the game. They are absolutely ruining the game of football with the amount of fixtures that we're seeing. Why did we need the Nations League? These are glorified friendly matches. And you look at the start of the season here. We were all waiting, every single one of us, for the return of club football to start the new season here, to have these games. And we have international breaks in September, October, November. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke there every single month without fail. And what that means is, because of all those international breaks, you've got to cram in the games. All the while, the Champions League is expanded. We've got a whole new Club World Cup that Barca probably luckily aren't involved in. There's going to be even more games added to the calendar. And just where does it end, guys? Where does it stop right now? And this is what I mean about player welfare, about coaches taking responsibility here, because it's on everybody to look after the players. If Yamal is to burn out, if Yamal is to get a serious injury, it's not just going to affect Barca. Don't think here, Luis de la Fuente, that we've got more to lose, because if you don't have Yamal in your team, if you're not able to call upon these key Barcelona players, it's going to hurt you too. And the sooner that you realise that, maybe you'll start to take these things into account, because this is unacceptable. We do not want to see our players treated in this way. It's on everybody to get the best out of them, to keep them in the best condition to play, and to deal with this absolutely catastrophic footballing calendar. So indeed, guys, like I said there, that is not my usual video, but honestly, these are some things that I've been waiting to say. These are issues that have been building in the game now for quite some time, and we have to talk about them, and we have to speak very openly about what we are seeing in the game that we all absolutely love. So what I want to know now is what you are feeling. Please do let me know all of your honest thoughts there on Luis de la Fuente's words, what he said right throughout his tenure, really, as the Spanish national team coach. What do you make of the footballing calendar, what UEFA and FIFA are doing, these international breaks that we are seeing? Let me know all of your opinions down below, and I will see you soon, of course, where there will be more videos to come, and more normal videos, I assure you. But thank you indeed, guys, for joining me here today. I'll catch you soon, but until next time, as always, Vesca, Barca.